Say hi to Uncle Joey. This video is for the book lovers, for the booktubers, for the readers out there who want to read deeper, and for the readers who want to read more books this year. By the end of today's video, you'll be able to approach books with new eyes and consequently have a deeper appreciation for the art of reading. Because, to use the words of one of the greatest writers of the 20th century, and one of our first or second favorites depending on the day, Marcel Proust. Marcel Proust. Proust. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes. So let's get you those new eyes. Let's use the words of one of the greatest and most gifted writers and artists in human history to help you, 1, read more books this year, and 2, read those books deeper. Recently, I received a comment from a physicist friend who shares my love of literature. The links to some of Clement's work are in the description. But as a result of his comment, I've been thinking about the past. I've been remembering things from the past, specifically the summer I spent reading the most important novel that I ever picked up, In Search of Lost Time by Marcel Proust. And although I don't have it in me to reread all 4,200 pages of the novel, what I can do is lift 3 of my favorite quotes from the text, which I've recorded in one of my commonplace books. Link to my commonplace book playlist is in the description down below. And I can share these quotes with you in order to help you read deeper this year, to help you gain a deeper understanding of the art of reading. So let's get down to business. Here is the first quote. Every reader, as he reads, is actually the reader of himself. The writer's work is only a kind of optical instrument he provides the reader so he can discern what he might never have seen in himself without this book. The reader's recognition in himself of what the book says is the proof of the book's truth. If you want to read more books this year, if you want to deepen your experience of each and every book that you pick up, it starts with remembering the significance of this quote. But what do I mean? Close your eyes, think of your all-time favorite books, and then consider these easy questions. Why are those books your favorites? And what exactly made you enjoy them? Okay, just kidding, those are actually not easy questions to answer, but it is because of the difficulty of these questions that I'm sharing my favorite Proust quotes with you today. As I mentioned in this video, I encourage you to reread one of your favorite books this year and to reread it slowly. And when you're rereading this favorite book of yours, consider what your enjoyment of the text says about you. Consider what the pleasure you derive from the act of reading the text says about you. Consider the idea that the writer's work is essentially a mirror, which shows you parts of yourself that you might not have ever noticed before. When we read our favorite books, and when a book captures our attention, we are reading ourselves as much as we're reading the text. We're learning about ourselves as much as we're learning about the story the text tells. On to the second Proust quote. The second Proust quote we want to share to help you read deeper and to read more books this year is, unlike many of the sentences you find in Search of Lost Time, short. Reading is that fruitful miracle of communication in the midst of solitude. And this reminds me of a Descartes quote that I've mentioned in a few other videos. The reading of all good books is like conversation with the finest men of past centuries. And that reminds me of a Stephen King quote, which I have also mentioned in many other videos. Writing is telepathy. But okay, I've thrown a lot of quotes at you. Where am I going? Why am I doing this? Literature is a lonely gathering of the minds, but not like lonely in a sad way, lonely in an alone kind of way, a solitude kind of way. to Proust's point. There's that old idea that the trajectory of our lives is basically like the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And what I'm telling you today, which will help you read deeper and help you read more books, is that spending time with our favorite works of literature is oftentimes a telepathic communication with some of the greatest thinkers throughout human history. A miraculous communication in the midst of solitude. And I think that having that perspective when you pick up a book, especially one you love, I think that perspective will help you get more out of every book you read. With this perspective, you can become a deeper reader and a deeper thinker, and those are 2 things that will follow you wherever you go, regardless of whether or not you're reading. But let's move on. The third Proust quote I want to share to help you read deeper and read more books is as follows. Thanks to art, instead of seeing one world only, our own, we see that world multiply itself, and we have at our disposal as many worlds as there are original artists, worlds more different one from the other than those which revolve in infinite space, worlds which, centuries after the extinction of the fire from which their light first emanated, whether it's called Rembrandt or Vermeer, send us still each one its special radiance. I love this quote. It slaps. It communicates what I think of as the far-reaching value of reading. When you're enjoying a great work of literature, you're communicating telepathically with the writer across time and space, which is amazing. You're conversing with a great mind in complete solitude, and you are also experiencing new worlds. Taking reading seriously, trying to read deeper. It offers us access to detailed life experience which isn't our own, but is somehow still kind of ours. When I was lecturing at Johns Hopkins, I used to tell my undergraduates that whenever you're reading a book you love, a text that has touched you and captured your attention, you're vividly hallucinating to such a degree that your entire biochemistry is affected. Again, this depends on what exactly you're reading, what engages your attention, but anybody who's ever read a book that they love has memories that they take with them from the text. And in that way, we get detailed life experience from reading that isn't our own, but is kind of our own. And I think that's what Proust meant when he wrote that experiencing great art is to feel the special radiance of an artist's life, even centuries after the artist's death. I hope these quotes gave you a deeper appreciation of the art of reading, because I think reading deeper, reading more books, achieving your reading goals, etc., I think it all depends primarily on our approach to the art, on the perspective we bring to the text we're giving our time to. But let me know what you think in the comments. If you found this video useful or helpful, I hope you'll check out this playlist, which includes basically every video I've ever made about reading. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.